birthday party in the forest with the fire.
In the forest?
No, not yours birthday. No, my colleague invited me on her birthday party.
In the forest?
Yes, I smell like a sausage with the smoke.
Can I smell?
Don't eat me.
Okay, recording. I do not have my notes with me today. I'm already where it went. So let's just ask. Time. Do you believe in time? Do you believe in time? Do you believe in time?
Killing time?
Time, yes.
Time, yes. Does it exist?
Dali.
It has no number, that can't use it.
No numbers, no time.
No numbers, no time.
There is a very good book, it's called The Dreams of Einstein, and there are like 33 or maybe 30 stories about different alternative realities in which time goes differently.
It does in our reality too.
Yeah.
Okay, so today we're going somewhere very interesting with trees. Forestry. Do you know Neil Gaiman?
Yes, I know.
I did.
I have read the novel not so long time ago. I never read. So it was a month ago nearly, and now, ta-da!
He comes back to here.
Yes.
So I think he's a really good guy. He has interesting retelling of Nordic myths. He has some of his own stories. He's really good at short stories, I would say. He has some longer stories too, some novels.
And comics, he's an excellent
Comics, yeah,
He's an
comics.
excellent comics.
And he wrote a couple of scripts for like Doctor Who, which are amazing.
His computer program. Writing scripts.
Maybe. A good story is a kind of a code, like a program code. You read it, you think you read words, but it's an illusion. It just appears to be words. What really happens is it's a program which changes you a little bit as you read it. It just happens to look like words, like a story. It isn't. It's an illusion. Okay. So let's hope the guys will not be so loud. Shh. Thank you. Okay. So going Wodwo. Let's read it aloud and see what happens.
We can be loud and they will be calm.
Okay, 3, 2, 1.
Shedding my shirt, my book, my coat, my life, leaving them empty husks and fallen leaves, going in search of food and for a spring of sweet water. I'll find the tree as wide as 10 farmmen, clear water reeling over its grey roots. Berries I'll find, and crab apples and nuts, and call it home. I'll tell the wind my name and no one else. True madness takes or leaves us in the wood, halfway through all our lives. My skin will be my face now. I must be nuts. Since left with shoes and towels, my guts are cramped. I'll stumble through the green back to my roots and leaves and thorns and buds and shiver.
How do we feel about it?
How do the people next door feel about it?
Hey guys, how do you feel about it? Do you like it? I have no words.
They are speech. Yes.
So we one more.
Yeah?
So we'll read it one more time.
Of what to walk the wood, I will be forestman and greet the sun and feel the silence blossom on my tongue.
Oh, so we have a bit missing. Horrible. Give it to me.
Did you write?
Who sent it to me? Who sent me the not full version? You!
No, it was full. It was full on the website. Maybe you just missed it. It was full. I swear, like
Somebody is a fool.
I'm on the front, so here's my place.
So, let's
Let's write it
Yeah,
on the
so
other.
let's amend it quickly. Who has a pen?
I don't have a pen. No, I don't have a pen.
Okay, I'll lead the way of words to all
Thank you.
the wood. I'll be the forest man and greet the sun and feel the silence blossom on my tongue like language. Yeah, it was on the website and then it disappeared. Speaking about reality changing, I'll lead
Are these real diamonds?
the way
There's Swarovski
all
crystals.
words
Swarovski crystals, like
to
Amazing.
good. The image with moon and stars.
be.
Nice.
So meanwhile, you may just digest it.
We have
I'll
this
be
box and you have this
and
I thought it was
read the song.
I think it was marvelous.
Famous
My head.
love song on my tongue, like language. That's really interesting. Language. Okay, thank you. I just was reading a little article today about Mandela effect. Do you know about it?
Nelson Mandela.
Mandela
effect is when you remember something that other people say never happened, or when you remember things differently from what other people remember.
So he remembers apartheid and other people say it never happened.
Yeah. So that's something that happens to our reality all the time. It changes, but sometimes some people still remember the previous version.
Déjà vu?
Not déjà vu. Déjà vu is when you now feel like it happened to you before. And the Mandela effect is when you remember something in the past differently from all other people, or most other people. Like, I don't know, you remember that you got a bicycle for your birthday, but people say, no, it never happened. Well, I had such
It's
things
just bad
happen to me.
memory, isn't it?
Could be just bad memory, could be. I mean, there's no way to check it really.
Because things might get mixed up
Well,
when we
maybe.
try
not
to remember
always.
something that happened to
But
us.
maybe
or
not when
different
it's something
things.
important. I had something like that happen to myself. I know it can be true. Whether it's bad memory or reality changes.
I know the fish oil help for
Okay. Do you have the full versions now? Yeah.
Yes, everyone.
Phew.
Except the one who is in the minority.
Okay. Excuse me for not coming according to the poem's dress code today. But if anyone wants to share their shirt. Okay. So how do you feel about it?
About shedding the shirts.
The first word comes to my mind is the word freedom.
Freedom!
Yeah.
Because the whole poem shows us a real connection between the man and the nature, and they all become the same, something united. And it's also magical for me. It has magic in it, it has things which are happening in here, they're not possible, like in rational sense, but still, here they are, and they seem normal. Like, we can follow this guy or the woman into the woods, and we can go Wodwo.
Do you think it's a man or a woman?
I think it's
It
just...
doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Just
But as you read it, do you imagine a man or a woman?
man.
Man?
I also imagine that.
Why, man?
Maybe because
I
it's
see
written by a
myself.
man.
The music of poem, if it was written by a woman, would be
There's
another-
also
another.
what men as stand for men, so you kind of have this association.
Forest man, I'll be the forest man, not the forest woman. Well, maybe it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
But it has to be someone.
No?
Okay. So would you like to go Wodwo?
Oh, we'll go.
Yeah.
Is it a place? It's from
What is Wodwo?
Wodwo is a mythological character, creature. You can meet him in a lot of mythologies, like in Celtic. Well, some people think that he came from Celtic mythology, but from pagan times. You can also meet him in Slavic mythology. So basically, it's a man or a woman who goes to woods and lives there without clothes, eating berries and drinking the water from the river. Some people also think that he's the representation of the Green Man or Jack in the Green, who is also another mythological creature from Celtic mythology, who was very popular in pagan times. And after that, he kind of sneaked to the Christian culture because he was the symbol of rebirth and renovation of the man.
Which is why I like when people do their homework.
Right.
But even if you don't know, you can hear Wodwo, like wood. You have it in the word. Okay. So,
Woodrow Wilson.
Wodwo Allen. Alright, so let's have a closer look at what's going on here. So what do you start with if you want to go Wodwo? What does the poem start with?
You have to leave everything what belongs to the human world side.
Okay, shedding. The first very word, shedding. Not living, shedding. What associations do you have with it?
Shedding's like you're getting free of the shallow, the husk. And usually you think about it when it comes to the plants or to the snake, but not to the human being.
Shedding?
Watershed.
Something like that.
So, shedding? Shaking? Shedding? Shedding my shirt. We start with sound. Shh. Shedding my shirt. Why shirt?
It's just like a symbol of civilization, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or a man. Or for if we can talk about a man, not woman, it's a symbol of work time, of being in office, working in office. So shedding his shirt, he tries to leave the civilization out of the wood.
So it's not like a t-shirt. Shirt. And the beginning is more or less fine, because we can imagine somebody is hot, he wants to shed his shirt, have a nice walk around, do you?
Well, hot is the word, yeah.
So that may happen. Then he says, my book. How can you shed your book? What does it mean?
It's maybe he thought.
His notebook.
No, because maybe he wants to say that in nature, in natural way of life, he don't need a book because every book is something that it is written by a man, and thoughts of man, but not thoughts of nature.
Yeah, so maybe a book like learning, language, words, because he talks about words later. So what is a book?
Also, books, it's about knowledge. It's not about your instincts, your feelings.
It's like a theory, not practice.
Yeah, exactly.
Knowledge.
Although it appears on the net, it could also appear in the book. So books can be about feelings and emotions and.
That's what you read about, not what you feel. So still, it's like a theory. A little bit, maybe. I mean, if you have an interesting life, then why would you need books? If you're happy with your life, if it's interesting for different projects, why would you want to read about somebody else's life, however interesting it might be?
I think it's a very human nature because you want to learn new things, you want to know technical skills, you want to learn technical skills, you want to learn
Well, technical skills, but it's a bit different.
Yeah, so you kind of like live your life by book, by knowledge, by tales of other people, and you want more and more, and you want to know about this and that, this faraway country, and the stuff which you basically want to need in your life.
So you just try and live by pages, by books, by something unknown. Yeah, so that's something that
And you
people
try
keep arguing over.
Yeah, else you're kind of like trying to fill yourself. If you feel empty or if you feel like you have a hole in your heart.
Which is, again, if you're not happy, then you may have books, you may think that they may help you, they might.
Yeah.
But if you're happy, if your life is full and happy, then do you need books? Maybe not really. Maybe not.
You like it.
Maybe a book is like a guide through this vast emptiness we call our existence.
And I think maybe when you're trying to live in a natural way, you need to find something to eat, find something to drink, you need to do many things you don't need to do it.
Which makes you very unhappy.
Yeah.
So
and,
you say, let's get rid of it.
No, because in that way people don't have much time to read and to fool their mind something else, but feeling something natural.
That's some natural people want.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I mean, if you think about it, about education today, it's so unnatural.
Yes.
Making people sit and be quiet. Really. Okay. Then my coat. So why do we need to repeat it? We have shirt, now we have my coat.
Maybe it's old one.
And it's also interesting because, as far as I understand, also looking at you maybe, there's the coat, waistcoat, and then the shirt. So you can't really shed your shirt before you have shed your coat. So that's probably not just a coat, but code inscribed into this one. But I'm not able to decode it.
And maybe, I'm not sure, but I think maybe you can take out your coat and bring it in your hands or bag, and that's why shave the coat. Maybe it something like put it on shoulders just. So it's something that is not so especially needed for a man, but in everyday life we take it with us anyway, thinking in the evening maybe it would be colder, so I need a coat.
I think that's also the reason, one of the reasons is that the coat and the clothes was invented to keep yourself safe from bad weather, from dust, from rain, from wind. Yeah, and now, now you kind of make yourself naked, but not in the sense that you're gonna be naked, we're gonna see your body, but you take off all your defenses from the outside world.
Yep, I agree.
And now you're not afraid of it. Well, maybe you are afraid of it, but you're ready to connect with it.
Yeah, so that's a bit of language. So technically, of course, clothes comes from the word cloth. But if you listen to it, clothes, like clothes from the word by wearing clothes. We will just discard it. And if you feel natural, then people don't see you naked. If you have a reasonable or unreasonable level of self-awareness, and people don't see you as naked, they don't even notice that you're not wearing any clothes, because you're behaving naturally. That's a problem, because if you don't have it, then you're aware of not having clothes. It's back to paradise, being aware of not having clothes. Then it's not a good idea to do it. But if you're completely natural, do, I don't know, cats think, oh no, I'm naked.
Today I see a man swimming in the river.
Yesterday. Okay. Okay.
Oh, I might
He's a strong man.
I might know that place. Is it over the bridge?
Yes, please.
Down there. You do see naked people there from time to time, but usually not in that weather.
Yes.
Someone. Oh, thank you. That's a very good idea.
Shedding.
Yeah, keep it simple.
In the middle.
Shedding your shirt, phone, and bag. all the way.
So it's going bigger, yeah? Shirt, book, coat. Coat is bigger than shirt. My life, shedding my life. Phew!
And that it looks like life consists of a short book and coat.
Yeah. So
Altogether.
it's an interesting combination to think about it.
Materialistic combination.
Yeah, but I think by life he means here that she's
Way of life.
his shedding, his knowledge, his communication with people, his
Social
relationships.
life.
Yeah.
First.
All of his not human but man experience and all this, unnecessary knowledge about school, history, politics, economy.
And it can't help him to find something to eat, can't help him to warm up himself, so he needs some other knowledges, not in the books.
So here's a question. Have you ever tried going to some small place in the woods for a day? Just you and your tent and nothing else?
No, I never know.
Yes, my family have a hike.
On
the
your
river,
own.
on the river.
On your own,
Oh.
not in a company, on your own. You go to the forest, you find a little place there, you just set up your tent and you stay there for a day.
I have some time, but not for a day, and it was a long time ago when I was studying in the university. So it was some hours, but not a day, but it was great. But it was not so far from people, but
It doesn't have to be far from people, it just has to be more or less
it's a
secluded.
special way of calmness. And
Yeah, because I had such an experience once when I was hiking over Scotland, because we have a great rule here, you are free to roam, unlike England, where every little bit of land is somebody's, and you can't walk there. In Scotland you can park your tent anywhere you like at all, well, within reason obviously, and not to be polite. But technically you could land on somebody's garden somewhere.
If you're an Irish traveler.
Yeah, if you're a traveler. So anyway, I was hiking like about, and I got caught in heavy rain, so I couldn't walk on. I just stayed in a tiny little place. It was smaller than, maybe like that room. So it was just a road down here, quite empty, and a little hill down there, and some trees, and it kept raining and raining all day, all night, all next day. So I just sat there in a tiny little place. It was really beautiful and amazing. You really start seeing tiny little details. So again, it's like slow reading. You may walk past and see maybe something, maybe nothing. But if you stay there for a few hours, for half a day, for a day, you really get to know that tree, that rock, that little cobweb bridge between them. It's quite expanding. It could be a good experience, and it's not difficult to do it. It's not like going to the high mountains for 10 years. So that's what he does, and we know people do it on like regular basis. Just get your head clean of your everyday troubles. That's what he does. Shedding my shirt, my book, my coat, my life, my mobile phone. Let's throw it into the bin. No. Okay. Living room. Empty husks and fallen leaves. What is it?
So his past life.
Or empty husks, fallen leaves.
something that you don't need. Fallen leaves, you don't need them, they don't have any function for a tree anymore. So, and husks are empty, so they have no reason to be, so you don't need them at all. And someday before, yes, they have some reason, some leaves were on the tree and husks were not empty, but now it's not so important. They don't need anymore. They have no something special for this man. Yeah.
I also feel like fallen leaves they associate with sadness because it's the end of the season. It's ending and the winter is coming and you feel really bored and like, oh my god, I'm gonna be around the snow for 6 months at least. No sun, nothing.
Big December.
Somebody heard you because there's no snow in Moscow.
It's so beautiful.
No snow.
I hate summer. I love winter. I love when it's so snowy and it's so white and cold.
And of course you may notice him playing, weaving. He's a weaver. Weaving the meanings, living like going and leaves like many leaves. Leaves. Yeah. So the two ideas become connected. Ideas of leaves, which might be falling or growing. But anyway, a leaf is something natural, growing tree. And living, going away. How can it be connected? I have no idea, but he connects it.
Well, if a leaf is his past life, it might be beautiful. So there might be some beautiful moments of his past life. But then again, he wants to stop and to absolutely renew himself.
Going in search of food. That's what it's all about. Well, if you go natural, that's your task number one. Go find some food. Now, is it just the normal food?
Natural food.
Maybe it's food to eat and food to...
Food for thought.
Going in search of food and for a spring. So what he does here is a beautiful little trick. Fallen leaves, which is autumn, and spring, which is like spring.
Rebirth. Something in his soul.
Missing winter completely and happening very quickly.
Was it the spring or something of eternal youth?
Could be. Going in search of food. So we have words like living, like searching. When do you leave something to search for something else? When you're very happy?
No.
When you know what you want in
You
life?
have some aims to find, to do.
It's reborn.
Yeah.
It's April wood for me in this poem.
For me, it seems that he's got an emptiness inside, and he goes for a search to find something, to feel himself being, maybe to rethink all his images about life.
Because he says all my past life is empty past, fallen leaves. It's himself. It's not something outside. It's himself. That's how he feels. He's looking for something fresh, food and drink. Spring, double meaning again, of sweet water. What is sweet water? Why is he looking for it?
Well, you have the flavor in the water.
We need to restart it.
Okay.
Good. So you are still the cameraman.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you
Not
are.
today. I'm the...
Do you have like the sixth sense?
No.
Which means that you're the cameraman, you're the Time Lord today. So sweet water. What is sweet water? Do we have sweet water in culture, or is it just some normal water which has some funny minerals in it?
Sweet is tasty.
Tasty, natural, and everyone who drinks water, spring water, everybody knows that it's sweet, and it's for me it's association with dead water and full of life, living water, yeah, something like that.
Yeah, water of life.
Water
Unless
of
you
life.
take it in Kolominsky part, of course. Phew. Yeah, so we have the idea of sweet water. Could be wisdom, could be renewal. Again, we have the fountain of eternal youth. Yeah, we have what we have.
Sweet is also some kind of reward. For example, you behave yourself good, and now you can have a candy, cookies, or sweet water, or
So basically, would you drink sweet water? If water tastes sweet, is it good news or bad news? So I don't know.
I think it's good.
In the nature, all time, the water seems so sweet, so clear.
Well, and of course it's also part of religious ceremonies, where you have water, where you have wine. That is, yes. Well, water when you are Christian, and wine when this.
We don't talk about wine just here. We do have lots of water in religion. It's true. In I guess all religions, all different kinds of religions. Okay, sweet water. We think it's not just some normal water. Sweet water. Maybe it's really right. Okay, sweet as holy water, they say. What was it? King Crimson. They had that really nice song, "Ladies of the Road." Maybe we should have a look at it too if we haven't before. I met who was it? Flower seller's daughter, sweet as holy water, something.
I think Neil wants to take our attention on the basic feelings. When baby come into the world, he doesn't know everyone. He have no information about what only he's hearing, he's cold or warm, yes, and touching and taste. And we look short, yes, it's our flowers, it's our touching the leaves, it's hearing our yes, the food, water, it's our taste, and he became like a baby.
Yes, absolutely.
But it's not just birth, it's rebirth, as you said. So it's not possible unless you leave, unless you leave some civilization behind. But you have to have it, because if you're just a tiny child who finds himself or herself in the forest with no one around, he won't ever be a human. He won't ever be a human, as is well known.
Or he's going to be eaten by witches?
Possibly.
Or he eats the witch. One or two. Okay. So we start with something freedom, shedding the old, renewing, a bit of sadness, fallen leaves, empty husk, and then we come back to the positive note, sweet water.
And spring.
Spring. I'll find the tree as wide as 10 firemen.
Just 10 fat men.
Sequoia.
Farmer.
Well, when the tree is fat and this big, it means that the tree is very old. So maybe he's going for the wisdom. Someone who's very wise and clever, but not in our common sense, but has wisdom about the nature, about the life in its birth lineage.
Yes, and I think it's a connection with the ancient wisdom for man, because a fat tree, a big tree.
Trees.
Yes, it's a symbol of something ancient. Something ancient and very strong and protective, maybe even.
So let's have a look at time. What tense is the first bit? Now we have future. What's the first bit? There's no time. It's in process. Shedding, living, going. Just continues.
It's just what grammarians say about the present tense in English. So it's not really the present tense, it's timeless. There's no tense in the present tense, if it is what we usually call the present simple tense.
Which is true. And now we go to future, and I will as something decisive.
Some aims for man.
Something we know will happen. So it's already true. I will. I'll find. So first part is going. looking, there's uncertainty. Now, very quickly, we find our solution. I will find, no doubts here, a tree. A tree, interesting, because it would be more usual to say what kind of tree. But we don't have it here, we just have a tree. So it's not any specific tree. So it's that tree, really. The original tree. Let's move on.
It's not a factory, it's just,
Well, depends on the scale.
it has curves.
Let's imagine that a wild tree aged.
Oh, we have a tree, that's enough for us. A tree, yeah. And it's white as 10 farm man. Interesting, why 10 farm man? Why farm man?
Maybe the character is far away from people. He is in the wood, and every man becomes far for him. So the tree like so wide, like 10 men, but every man for him is not so close. He knows that it's something like that, but he can't see this man near himself.
Yeah, maybe he wants to bring this illusion, association again into the text, but he doesn't want to bring people into it.
Yeah.
So again, he could compare the two with something else, but he chooses to compare it with people, with men specifically. But he leaves them far. So again, maybe it's bringing and not bringing people into his place. Maybe. Okay.
And also says the book says that 10 is a sacred number in Bible because you have to complete 10 tasks before you can go not to the heaven but to the thing before the heaven. Yeah.
Well, 10 is a sacred number in many traditions. It's kind of complete, yeah. So 10.
I'm curious, what about Buddha? What about, I don't know why it's religion.
It doesn't have to be religious. It doesn't have to be religious. 10 is a complete number. 10 and 12.
12, yes.
12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's how you count to 12 on your fingers. Well, it's too short, it only has 12. So 12 is a good number because it's easily divided. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. And 2. Mathematics. You love mathematics, I do. So 10 farm man, again, not a dozen, 10. Being, why 10? What's the difference between a dozen? Maybe more strict. Maybe. 10. Maybe something. Okay, clear water. So it's all about water. Again, spring of sweet water, now clear water. Reading over its grey roots. So I'm going to look for a place with water. I find a place with water. Is it a good place?
It's maybe a rain.
And I think all through the history, people tries to find a place where they will have some water to drink. So it was very important to stay alive. So he wants to find a place with some wisdom and with some water. And maybe it could be not just water he needs to drink, but something to revival him, something that way.
It's running water.
Running
It's
water.
not standing water, it's good running water. Running meaning like a spring. like a little river.
It's like something important for his life to stay alive. For his, maybe not like with food, not for his body, but for his mind and soul.
Maybe you can think about it. In a lot of religious orders, when the monk has to go from a monastery to some kind of little town, he's not allowed to take any food or any water from any of the houses, from any of the people. He's only allowed to go to the forest and drink some clear water from the river. That's all.
Why?
Because
People are dirty.
because it's just religious things.
But still, even if we don't think about any special meanings, you can see the place, water over grey roots. It's visual, and it's peaceful, and it's good. Even if we don't think about anything else, yeah.
And grey roots aren't unusual. I think most trees have grey roots.
Especially when they're old.
When they're old.
So it's like, you know,
Still, why say grey roots rather than say like intricate roots or big roots or old roots? Why do the color?
It's a base feelings.
First, we can see it clearly.
well, I think when we imagine the roots, we imagine something very, very green. There are a little bit of brown, but still there are a lot of green color, and everything is green, and the water is green. And now we have a little bit of accent of gray. Well, in my opinion, gray gets us closer to the human goal because we live in a gray town, we live in a gray city. There are a lot of gray in our lives. We have a lot of gray today. Yeah, so, and it's also connected melancholy, kind of.
More ideas? Colors are important, really. Like
Yeah.
orange is a happy color.
So it's not that grey.
And for me, anyway,
our
it's
little
like
town.
a mark of something ancient.
Ancient, like grey stones.
Grey hair.
Grey hair.
Yes.
Well, that's what I think.
Yes, yes.
Grey hair. Wisdom, grey hair. Maybe grey is not
Old
bright.
age grey hair.
Maybe grey is like again calm and peaceful. Not disturbing, not bright color to disturb you, but grey to
And it sounds like great.
or grave.
Also, neither it's black nor it is white. It's gray, and gray is nature. It's not good, it's not bad. It doesn't have a lot of morals. It's just being
Is.
peaceful. Yeah, it's just in the middle.
Like fairies.
It's objective.
Roots, tree and roots. Now we have the word roots and we will have it later. So now we have it planted in our brain as we read it. Yeah, so it's interesting. Usually when we think about the tree, we want to look up. Yeah. If you think about the tree, it's something big, you want to look up. He doesn't do it. You don't see the top of the tree, you don't really see leaves. The leaves are falling. We keep looking down at the ground, keep us grounded. We see the roots. The roots are more important than leaves. Because leaves come and go, but roots is what keeps you alive.
And it's the origin of it.
So a normal person would look at leaves and say, oh, what a beautiful tree with beautiful leaves. But he looks down, he looks at the roots. And found beautiful berries all fine, and crab apples and nuts, and come home.
He will find something to eat.
Yes!
Can I give one more historical reference?
Right?
So you remember we were talking about the Green Man? And when people were trying to please him and to ask for something like, for food or for wealth, they came to the tree, to an old and wisdom tree, and they were leaving berries, apples, especially apples and nuts, like a sacrifice. So maybe it's a kind of a little bit of reference.
Maybe he'll find the berries not growing on the tree or near the tree, but left as a sacrifice.
Near the roots.
Near the roots. So people leave it for these forest god.
The roots is connection with the roots of a man, of a human being, and his true life, for his life, roots of his new
It's
life.
not maybe because we have it later.
And there's some medical detail about the man. He hasn't got allergies. Otherwise, he wouldn't be such a happy man with all the berries and nuts and crabs and apples.
Okay, so maybe at this point we don't see, but it might be that he becomes that forest spirit. And so he can take the berries which are left from the forest spirit. Maybe. Just maybe. Berries are real fine. And crab apples? Why crab apples?
Wild.
And also, this is the apples which can fall down from the tree, and they just lay down there, and nobody cares about them.
And then he wants to distinguish something natural apples and garden apples, like using farmland to distinguish civilization from his food.
Crab apples.
Very red, no?
Well,
No, red. Yeah, red.
Again, if you saw crab apples, they are more like berries than like apples, really. And you can see them lying in great numbers. Maybe that too. Because berries is plural. If you think about berries, you imagine lots of berries, and crab apples, you imagine a whole lot of crab apples. And nuts again. Oh, nuts, interesting. Nuts.
Berries is also another colorful accent. Berries are usually red, purple, or blue. There's a little bit of diversity here.
How can we taste it as we read it? Berries are finding crab apples and nuts, so he's like a little squirrel now. And call it home.
Maybe it's a crazy idea, but do you remember the myth about Hades and Persephone?
Huh? So if you eat it, you stay there.
Exactly.
Maybe. Or maybe he says, I start my transformation and I stay there to complete it. I call it home. Also, I just want to say I really like the construction, the long lines and the short line in the end. Why do we have it?
Because he wants to make an accent on this phrase and have kind of, the final brushstroke.
And maybe we're supposed to read or to feel the empty bit. Yeah. So we have long line, short line, but it's not really short. We have the pause, we have the silence here, the space for your meditation. Because that's what we do not do normally. We skip the empty places. Maybe we're supposed to pay attention to the space between lines, between letters, between words. Because if something is not there, like a letter, word, then we just skip it, but it is there. It's like ones and zeros on computer. A zero is as important as one on computer. Or go to Chinese philosophy, nothingness, which is as important as thingness. It gives it shape. Phew, home, sweet home with sweet water. Good. So you see, it's really easy. You say, okay, I want to find a home, I need some food and clean water. Oh, here it is. Okay, it's home. So do you easily call a place home? You just get to the next place. Oh, okay, that's my home now. Freedom. No?
Winning the project
Almost some place where you can feel so safe. And know that people or creatures around always happy to see you. So probably the forest is happy to see him and to have him.
Wow, of course the forest is happy to see him because it gives him berries and water.
Yeah.
You can't find berries or water if the forest doesn't want you to. I don't know about bears, I know it's through mushrooms. So he finds funny little things like crab apples and nuts, but he's really happy with it. Because if you offer a normal person some crab apples, and he just says, oh, but that's not crab apples, it's just crab apples. I'm not having it. Oh, crab apples! Wow! Look, I found a crab apple! Wow, look! Amazing! Oh, thank you so much. Oh, he's a happy person.
Happy person like a child.
Yeah. Let's see. Maybe we should just restart it after each stanza. It takes us about half an hour to read one stanza anyway. Okay. Maybe we should show. That's the tree. How do we show the tree? To move. That's the tree. We have the tree in here, big tree. We are very happy. Because it was not planned.
Mother nature and the nature.
Yeah, feeding the babies. Is that what you're talking? Feeding the babies.
And her child.
Yeah, Mother Nature feeding her children.
Her sweet water like the sweet milk of mother.
Right, could be. Giving you food and shelter. Oh, that's all we need, really.
Shelter is like a little house.
Not necessarily a house, but a place to. What happens is you trust it. You let go of your usual code, your usual shelter. You leave it behind, and you trust your feeling, and it becomes true. It gives you what you want. If you trust it, you can't go into there and say, okay, I'll just leave my keys from my home under the rug, just in case, you know. And I'll just take my sleeping bag with me, just in case, you know. It might not work. No, you say, I'm here, naked, as I am. Hello, will you have me? No, yeah. Hey, Nate.
Ready to receive everything you can give me.
Yeah, you trust it absolutely. You trust to your life, which is like, because if you don't do it, if you have some doubts and you never find that place and then you die because you're cold and hungry. But if you do trust it, it happens. It's easy as that. I know it's true. Being there, seeing that. Right. I'll tell the wind my name and no one else. So again, future, which is like a future fact. I'll tell the wind my name and no one else. So that's again a very important bit, very classical. Why?
Because of mythology. If you know the true name of a creature, either a fairy or about other magical creature, it means that you can take over him. You can make him make things for you. You can be powerful of him. So if this guy lost his name, it means that now no one can owe him. He's lost as a forest spirit, because spirits, they usually do not have names, and they hide their names very carefully because they don't want anyone to know them. And also in modern world, we have this feeling to name everything. We think that we can just point a finger at people and just put a label on this person and say.
I believe it comes from the times of Adam, who was given the power to give names. And that's the power we still have. It's a little power we still have from those old times, so we use it naturally.
Yeah, and having a name, it means that you have features, you have some kind of a character. And if you do not have a name, it means kind of like you're faceless.
Yeah. So now why the wind? Ladies?
Wind.
Wind. I'll tell the wind my name, not the tree, not the spring.
Something freely, something open to nature. It could be anywhere and different in a small period of time. It could be here and there and there. So it could change his place and its place, and it could bring some sounds to another place through the nature, through the trees. It connects with trees, with grass, and everything in the wood.
More ideas?
When you tell your name to the trees, to the leaves, they whisper among each other, and they can remember your name.
Although the wind goes everywhere, tells tales.
The wind, he kind of absorbs a lot of stuff, and he goes around the whole planet. And to really understand the wind, you need to be a kind of a very specific person, because in the wind there is a mix of everything. So you can't just find the right one in this huge amount of names, of facts, of voices, and it can just get lost in the wind.
Do we often talk to the wind? Who talks to the wind?
Can we see the wind? I think we discussed it some time ago. We can't talk to it because we can't see it. We can see we can see its effect on the tree leaves, on if it's a hurricane or something else. We don't see.
He's naked and he can feel the wind like a tree, like some object in the nature, like the grass, everything. He's connected with them. Feelings.
A big question is, you can talk to the wind if you like. Does the wind listen? Does it care?
Not really.
Not really.
Sometimes.
There's again another nice song by King Crimson. I talk to the wind, that's what it's called. I was like, I talk to the wind doesn't hear.
So maybe that's why he wants to tell his name just to the wind, because it doesn't matter for
maybe. Or maybe if you give it to the wind carries it away and you have no name anymore. Maybe it's not like tell your name, but give. Okay, so you can have my name.
The old
Like
name,
the ashes
the old way of life, way of worldview of this man. Everything.
Phew. So again, it's like a monk who has to leave the old name with everything else. You start a new life. You leave your old name behind, because a name is what you are. A name is who you are. It's really, you may not believe it, but it is important. If you think about the story, then the name of the character defines the character very often. It's an essential part of who you are. You may not believe it, but I guess it's true. Okay. I know, it's really, really lonely. It makes you think of Hamlet. True madness takes or leaves us in the wood, halfway through all our lives. It could be Hamlet saying it. It could be Shakespearean bit. True madness. So we have fake madness, we have real true madness. What is it?
Food, body, mind.
I don't know, but truth. A lot of times, truth means that it's good. It's good to be honest. It's good to say the truth. It means that you're an honest person and you're a good one. So maybe true madness means the good madness, the good kind of.
Oh, we have a good madness. Yeah, hooray! Who is mad in a good way? Yeah, that's why we are all here.
And maybe it's a mark that this process in his life is serious. So it's not a joke, it's not something for the one time, but it's for a long time, and it's serious, and he will do it, he will go, he will find a way.
Who defines if it's madness or not?
Yes, that's a good question.
Doctor, who's a doctor? What do they know? They're stupid. Most of the time, well, not always.
They have a lot of tests.
True madness. What is fake madness? Maybe when you say, oh, if I don't get a new iPhone, I'll die. Maybe that's fake madness, I don't know. takes or leaves us. So we again back to leaves, which are flying. They're not fixed leaves on the point. They're falling leaves, falling. Takes or leaves us in the wood. Now again, the wood appears from the trees.
Yeah, I think the interesting issue about these two words is that you take and leave, it means the opposite. Like you can take something and you can leave something. But here the meaning is actually the same. The first one brings you to the forest, and the second one leaves you in the forest, but still you are in the wood. And
could be.
Yeah.
Takes or leaves us. True madness overtakes you or goes away, passes away, but it still comes and goes. But in the wood is obviously again a very common image in culture. It makes you think about who was that Italian guy who found himself in the forest halfway through his life. Was he Italian?
He was she, and she has fallen from the airplane, from a crashed airplane. Her name was Juliana Cook. Back in 1974, I think.
Anyway, who's that guy who wrote the most funny comedy in history?
His name begins with D.
Alright, his name begins with D. Yay! So here we have this kind of reflection, and in the wood, halfway through our lives, is a very clear allusion to Dante's poem, in which the wood is your life, actually, society and confusion. So you're halfway through your life, you're confused, and lots of people say it is true that it does hit you around the age of 30, 33, so it's quite accurate. And that's when you go to the forest to rethink your position in this universe. Halfway through all our lives. Halfway through, again, means you're suspended. Not there, somewhere in the middle. Where am I? Oh, where am I? So this true madness is something in life which comes for you. Takes or leaves us in the wood. Now, you go to the wood to experience it, because that's the only way to know who you are, and why you're here, what it's all about. It doesn't have to be a real forest with trees, apparently. But the wood, like the confusion of life. And this beautiful full stop in the middle of the line. Did he do it before? No. So that's important. We make this full stop in the middle of the line because the true madness takes and leaves us in the wood halfway through all our life is a statement which is different from different statements. It's true for everybody. Not just I'll find, I'll tell, but madness takes or leaves us. It's a different tense. Okay, present simple means it's always true for everybody.
And also if we look at the chronology of the poem, first he takes off all of his human life. Second, he eats something, he stays in the forest, so he slowly becomes the spirit. And he tells his name, so he's losing his name, and now he's nobody. Well, he's something.
That's true madness, which is faceless.
Yeah, and now he can know like the basic truth, which is not available for everybody.
And then back to him. My skin will be my face now. How do you imagine it? How can your skin be a face?
I feel like now he can see and he can smell things and he can experience things with all of his body. Like his face is everywhere. So,
which is already the idea. If you're wearing clothes, you're not likely to experience it. if you want to experience, you go somewhere where you don't have anybody to look at you. You shed your clothes and see what happens.
And the surface of your body is white.
And all receptors on your skin and then your body will feel another way without clothes. It could feel not just touching of the land, but of wind, but of temperature changes and everything you can feel by your body.
Yeah, again, if somebody, somebody read Philip Pullman's trilogy, then you have the witches who walk around with very little clothes. Why? Because it's really good to feel the starlight on your skin. It's really bloody cold, but it's an amazing feeling. It's like, so they do it. But if we go scientific, it is true. Our skin is a receptor. It's like an antenna, which is why 5G is good for you, because you're receiving it with all your skin. So we use our hands to start things.
We have different kinds of receptors, each kind for each aim, so it's very important part of our body. And our biomechanics depends on our receptors in our skin, so how we'll do something, how we can go, stand or sit, it depends on how we can feel by our skin.
I mean, just look at us now. All we use is a little bit of hands and maybe neck and face. That's all we use, usually, unless it's a hot summer. Most time of year in this place, Fuji, North Africa. Then again, we do use our hands to kind of scan space. We can feel something. If you do practice it, you start noticing it is working. You can wake it up easily just by using. You play with it. You're not being serious about it. Because really, you may think, oh, it's just stupid. It's a game. Also, we have more receptors than we use. Yeah, like silicone, like naked, all these things. And that's what he says. My skin will be my face now. Maybe like a tree. Like a tree. And maybe like he will be activated fully. Not just using a tiny bit of his power, but all of it. Because if you think about it, skin is a very big organ. Okay, and do you use it? How do you use it? Country? You, I use it. Okay, I said after every stanza, so after every stanza should we take? It was only 17 minutes, so we're making progress. Phew, we are nearly the end. I must be nuts. You find nuts, you get nuts. I must be nuts. Sands left with shoes and hounds, my guts are cramped. I'll stumble through the green, back to my roots, and leaves, and thorns, and buds, and shiver. So we can see how it concentrates all these meanings and images. Madness plus berries equals nuts. Yeah, so he is mad, but in a natural way. It must be nuts. Now it's present. Must be nuts. And now again, sands left. Leaves left. Again,
As a result.
So now we talk about present thing. Sands. We have lots of sands. Maybe it's time to come back to some non-sands. Sense is predictable, linear. Non-sense can be anything at all. If you're sensible, then if you go out in the evening, you get some clothes, you get your sleeping bag, you get your tab if you're sensible. If you're non-sensible, you go to a tree and say, hello tree, can I stay here for a night? The tree says, yeah, no problem, man. Sans left with shoes and house. Beautiful. So it's not just his shirt, it's now his shoes as well. And house. So shirt is up here. But shoes are closer to the ground, so more connected
To the roots.
Shoes, it's like terrace.
Like, I don't want to leave your shoes.
Connection with the ground, like roots for a man, so he can connect with nature by his roots already as a result.
Who does some bare walking? Bare feet walking? Bare feet walking, anyone? Yeah, it's really good for you. Do you do it?
And it's very important for health and for mechanical
Well,
man.
I'm lucky because I'm going to a summer camp in a pine forest, which is a very clean place where you can walk barefoot all you like without being afraid of stepping on a bit of glass or something nasty. In Russia. It's near Popcina. It's a beautiful place, just near the monastery, just behind the monastery. There's a beautiful pine forest, and there's a tent camp for children. You come and visit us. It's like in June and July, in the end of June, beginning of July. You'll be around, you can give me a call or something. Okay. Sans left with shoes and house. So now we call it home. Left house. We have this difference.
House is a building, it's not something inside, but it's a building, just a building. And home is something for soul, something comfortable for soul, something important and full of sense for a man. And house is just a building without any other things.
Yeah. Or maybe sometimes you need to leave your house to find your home, which might not be easy to do, or it might be very easy to do, depending on your position. My guts are cramped, or what happens if you eat crab apples?
It's both bad there.
And a lot of berries.
His hands was very
And again, if you're not used to spring water and you start drinking it, yeah. Okay, and surely guts rhymes with nuts. I must be nuts. I'm on the nonsensical side of life. I'm activating my skin, my guts. So guts are important. We follow our gut feeling. Guts.
Oh, we didn't have the guts to follow our guts.
Feeling on the outside, yes, feeling inside.
Yeah, so that's what happens here.
And in many cultures, our soul is living
In stomach.
In stomach, yeah. So he
Which is
can
true,
feel,
you know.
yes,
Also,
he can feel by his soul. Everything about guts.
okay. So yeah, if you live in a sensical world of intelligence and civilization, then what you are is a big clever head
But
sitting
not
on a...
gods. How you can say something about gods?
Really? If you think about the self-image of a person, then how do we imagine ourselves? A big clever head and something to carry it around, basically.
And gods, it's something connected with our instinct of protecting and living. You have some guts reactions when you're afraid, when you trying to save yourself
So if you live in an intelligent, civilized society, do you like discussing gods? That's not really. But if you live in nature, then it's natural. It's a part of it.
And it's also a very Neil Gaiman thing. Like he likes to put such stuff in all of his fantasy books. It's just something he does. It's just. There is a novel by him, it's called Stardust. It's a very beautiful novel. It has fantasy. It's like there's a guy who lives in a British village and he wants to marry a girl, a very beautiful girl. And she tells him, well, if you're gonna bring me the fallen stars through the wall, through the magical wall, there are like fairies and magicians and witches. And there is a moment in the book where he meets a very strange and weird man, so he's like a wolf or something. And there's this scene where he and the dog goes, beside the tree to make their business, and he looks at his excrements and see that they look non-human, and he just, it's so Neil Gaiman. He just does that. I don't know
why not in nature many animals doing some strange things with their excrements.
But it's not a common thing to write about such stuff in fantasy and stuff, but he just does that.
If you live in a natural way of life, then you do talk about it. You say, I know what kind of animal went here, because I can see.
And if you know, some dogs bring themselves in excrements to make another smell for other animals. So it's okay.
It's not if you live in nature, then it's it's not nasty. It's a part of reality. It's not a part of reality in a city center. You don't want to see it lying around. You don't want to think about it. But if you're out in nature, it tells you a story. It's as good as a flower, a nut, anything. You see, I know, that's a pine marten and it's been eating some blueberries.
Yes.
And you can see it by that.
And the result.
So it's not something horrible or strange. No, it's interesting. It's important. It's a story in itself. And it's more real than a book which you need to shed for on there. I'll stumble through. Why stumble?
It's too weak to walk now. You can't stumble.
So you eat too many crab apples, you have some problems with digestion, and you can only stumble through the grain.
Maybe it doesn't have any kind of a body, and it just flies around.
So stumble, is it an easy movement?
Unexpected, maybe.
Through the green! Oh, finally, we read about going to a forest. Finally, we have something green in it. For a change? Yeah, no? Back to the woods.
What does he mean by bugs? It's not like, bodies, but
Bugs. Like frozen bugs.
yeah.
We'll just come to it. Through the green back to my roots. So first we have the tree roots, now it's his roots. Again, nuts, which like crazy, and nuts like beautiful nuts. And now roots, like physical roots and his roots. It all comes mixed. There's no difference now between
Mathematical roots.
Mathematical roots? Square roots. And leaves, again, leaf, it's all talking.
In this part of poem we can see that from roots from down to up, and before we can see that from up to down.
Yes.
Looks. So it looks the right way from the roots, and how in many practices the power up.
Yes, yeah. Exactly.
From the roots
so
to
if
the
you
mind
do like
to your
Lego
head.
or Table, then you know you start with your roots. you start with your feet.
And yoga, same way from
I
your.
don't know, did yogi. I say yogi is originally the practice to get rid of your body as soon as possible. That's why I don't do yogi. But today, of course, it's just like useful exercise, has nothing to do with real yogi. Anyway. Okay, so yeah, that's true. Going up now, establishing your roots, which is the most important. Now we have leaves. First we look up. Back to my leaves. I'm living. The whole poem is full of leaf and
Energy from
leaves.
the roots can and living in leaves and thorns.
Yeah, now thorns and buds. Good. So we had a question about buds.
Yeah, with the flowers, like the kidney, just of the plant.
I don't know. So thorns? What are thorns? So why do I go back to my thorns?
To protect myself.
To protect myself, I have my protection. I might be a hippie-like guy, but I'm dangerous. I might look cute, but I have thorns.
Yeah.
Again, like in nature, if you live in a city, oh, what a sweet little pine martin. Utsy. And then there go your finger. Oops. So he says, I do have roots, I do have leaves, but I'm not an airy fairy hippie pepe. I have my thorns and buds. A bud. Before leaves or flowers, something gentle, something new. So thorn is something hard and aggressive, and bud is something opposite. So now I know.
Energy inside for living, for doing something, some plans for future maybe.
Oh, like I'm balanced. I know my hard aggressive side, I can use it. I know my soft creative side, I can use it. Yeah. And buds. Thorns and buds. And really he becomes a tree here. If we did not notice before. And now he leaves his green side and becomes a tree. Back to my roots. Why stop coming back to roots? Everybody gets to their roots these days. Let's make a step further. Roots, okay, then leaves and thorns and buds. If you do something, do it properly.
To be complete.
And shiver.
Just like the leaves.
That
As he can feel.
Maybe
Super fast for peace, mind, soul and body.
Of not wearing anything. Just, yeah.
So
he desperately wants to get back. Back to clothes, back to his little house with a fireplace in it. That's why he's shivering.
And the wind when touch their leaves, yes, they shiver too.
Interesting. I'll leave the way of words. So, how many times do we have the word leaf or leaves? Let's count. Okay, living from leaves.
Leaves us in
Leaves
the
in
wood.
the wood. Lives, maybe connected with leaves.
Also left.
Where is left?
Sun's left.
Sense left. Roots and leaves. I leave the way. So it's like 6 times. And 1 time leaves. Lives, like. Or lives. 6.5, let's say. Which is quite a lot for one poem. It is important. Leaving and becoming leaves. I'll leave the way of words to walk the wood. And it's really funny that he would say it because he obviously walks the way of words. Walk. Yeah. Way of words to walk the wood. Ooh.
Some music of wind.
I'll shed my book, which is what he says in the beginning. Now he opens it up. It shows what he really means. Rude. I'll be the forest's man and greet the sun. And then, oh no, he's pagan. Maybe not.
Maybe yes.
Greet the
Every
sun.
religion have something in common.
Well, I'm looking at
Okay,
your
I
bird.
have really bad handwriting, so.
You have beautiful handwriting.
No, I read like a chicken. That's true.
Chicken.
Do I have like a
Right.
chicken? Everybody says I got that horrible handwriting.
No, you have beautiful.
Okay, let's see who has the worst handwriting.
It's me!
Who gets a prize?
I don't know, when I was at school, nobody was cheating on me because they just That's all.
That's what he calls his thorns.
Well, maybe when you write a real lot, then it does something funny to your handwriting.
It improves.
Have you seen this memes on the internet that somebody receives a recipe from the doctor and it's just like,
Okay, so again we are back to I will. Every time we say I will, it's a determination. It's something real. I'll be the forest's man. I am a man, I'm proud to be a man. Go away with all your
White
other
man.
things.
White man. Not city man, forest man.
The forest's man.
American man.
Oop.
I'll live and then I'll be. Forest man. And greet the sun.
Sun means rebirth. The beginning of the new life.
Energy of life.
Energy of life, energy of death.
Yeah. So
When
that's
there's too
quite
much sun.
transparent.
Somewhere in Sahara.
Or you can just think that the sun dies every evening.
Okay.
Can greet the sun, so he's just being very dramatic. But then he can improve it. And feel the silence blossom on my tongue like language. So that's what we start with. I'll shed my book. And I'll tell the wind my name and no one else. That's the only word he says. So then now I'll leave the way of words.
Also, my skin will be my face now, and we have our mouth on our face, and now basically it has mouth everywhere, which is kind of weird. But
Or maybe he has no mouth. Maybe he's like a tree now.
okay, he's like a tree because he can blossom, and well, you know, there are a lot of these articles and opinions that flowers mean something. So when you pick the bouquet of the flowers, you look. Does it mean that, or does it mean the breakup?
Yeah, that's how they used to communicate.
Yeah,
In a
just
very
like the
obscure
communication of the
way.
nature.
Yeah. I'll give you a red rose, it means something. I give you a white rose, it means something different. So if you keep that in mind when you read Hamlet again and you look at Ophelia and what she gives to all these people and how he mentions violets connected to Ophelia, and the violets are like untimely death of a young, beautiful girl. Beautiful. Okay. Feel the silence blossom on my tongue. So it's all about feelings now. And silence. We talk too much. We're talking too much.
Blossom like a flower, like something beautiful and natural, like a result of something, of some process.
So he comes back to his buds, and now the buds are budding and blossoming into silence, the flowers of silence. On my tongue.
Yeah, they are his bodies.
So again, it might be a disturbing image if you imagine a flower growing from his tongue. What would that mean?
I just realized something intriguing about this poem. So usually when you come to the forest, you expect to see birds and animals and maybe fish in the river, but here there is no one. There is just him and the green and that's all. And the wind.
And crabapple.
And crabapple.
And silence. Yeah, so it's a really strange forest, a strange place. Okay, it's a strange, silent forest. So maybe it's not a normal forest. Maybe it's a very special forest. Okay. So silence here. Do you like silence?
And here we can hear birds. We can see birds, we can hear birds, we can hear just wind.
Yeah, there's nothing here. No sound. It's a very still place, so maybe it's one of those magical places between worlds where you don't really expect to see birds or animals unless they're special spirit birds to guide you. Silence blossom on my tongue like language. So when we think about language, we think about words.
It's a way of communication and life.
Can you communicate with silence? Yeah.
That's what I was saying. If you find somebody you can sit near next to, and you can talk with silence, it means you can really
Feel each other.
So well, first of all, he feels with all his skin now. And now silence blossoms on his tongue. It means if something blossoms on your tongue, like a word on the tip of your tongue, you're about to say. He's about to say silence. So maybe a bit queer, but still very beautiful. The language of no words.
I think it's a game of words. Yes. With our brain, it's a monkey and a dog, dog, the dog. And if it is silence, it's a flower of clear mind. Feeling the now, yes, and happy in this moment. And you have no thoughts and you have silence and the language of silence. It's I don't know how it's named.
Well, maybe you need words when you are separated from other people. So you need words to communicate your ideas. But if you're connected directly, like you say with somebody, you see that you speak in silence, means you're really connected. You don't need words. Or you can just exchange directly, and what they feel is what you feel is what they feel, and you don't need words for it. Maybe. So if you're really connected, then you need no language. What's it called? Glossolalia, I think. Glossolalia is when you have like kind of a language without words, or it's words, but it's not of any known language. You speak with your guts, you speak with your soul, and it's more true than any words. Because words are labels; they never really truly mean what you mean to say. Yeah, but if you say, speaking glossolalia, if I remember the term correctly, you just say like anything like mossy, yeah, and it's more true, a more true expression of what you want to say. That's glossolalia, which is beautiful. But if you make a step further, then it's silent glossolalia.
There's also practically the sound in the poem. We have the water, we have it, but it doesn't sound. Like you remember the last poem
Yeah.
we read the last time.
Listen.
Yeah, and there were a lot of sounds, and here there's nothing. Even the wind. The wind is just somewhere, but
Some object.
yeah, but it doesn't. It doesn't howl. It doesn't have any kind of sound.
So the only sounds we have the sounds of the words of the poem. So again, maybe it's not really a poem like words with images. Maybe it is a kind of a code. So shedding my short
Meditations, some
my call,
meditations.
my life, living on empty husks, fallen leaves, going in search of food and for a spring of sweet water. I'll find the tree as wide as 10 farmmen, clean water rinning over its grey roots, berries. I'll find crab apples and nuts and call it all. I'll tell the wind my name and no one else. True madness stakes so leaves us in the wood, halfway through all our lives. My skin will beat my face now. I must be not sense left with shoes and house. My guts are cramped. I'll slide through the green back to my roots and leaves and thorns and buds and shiver. I'll leave the way of wars, I'll be a forest man and feel the sun and feel the silence. Become like language. Maybe that's how you're supposed to hear it, not like words, but just like sounds. Maybe if you read it 10,000 times and you stop hearing words and you get what it is really about, but we're not going to slow down that much, I'm afraid.
Yeah, it looked like some sound imitations.
Anything else to say here? Do you get inspired enough to leave your shirt, your book, your coat behind?
Do they have Wi-Fi in the tree?
Of course they do. A tree is a big antenna.
Okay. Yeah, ready?
There's one guy in the tree. Quite mad.
Sun.
Will be more strong, yes. She didn't go for
Phew, okay, then we can finish. I have lots of things to turn off today. I have no idea. Yes, I hope it will.
Does it have the red button?
It has a big red button.
Red button is always
It's always the red button. Actually, it has some words on the back to tell you what it's. I have no idea. I just got it yesterday. Well, thank you very much.